Is the Brett token the next Shiba Inu? Will it 10x and skyrocket, or will it go to zero? Here's everything you need to know about Brett and why I think it could be one of the top performing meme coins of this entire bull cycle. My name is Crypto Andy, and I make educational content to help you. So let's jump right into the Brett token. I always like to start off on CoinMarketCap. So I always look at the tokenomics. That's the first thing I look at to gauge what the price prediction for Brett could be. Does it have good tokenomics? So there's a 10 billion Brett supply, and 9.91 billion Brett is in circulation. So the majority of it is in circulation. I went into this website. You can just click right here. One quick thing where Brett is being sold: Uniswap, Bybit. So it's on KuCoin. It's on all the sort of, KuCoin is like a major exchange, but it hasn't really breached in the United States. It hasn't had a Coinbase listing, despite its strong connection to the base layer 2 ecosystem. So Brett, despite being at its market cap, which is 1.16 billion, which is massive, that's a blue chip meme coin market cap valuation. I have a meme coin trading course that you guys should check out. The link is in the description below. Right now I'm doing 100% free trial. It just came out the other day. So make sure and look at that. I go into Brett in the course like very deeply, and you should benefit from that. So this valuation without a Coinbase listing is like that's pretty significant. Most projects can't get there without first having, without being on Kraken, on Binance US, and on Coinbase. And Coinbase is considered the biggest legitimizer, right? It takes a meme coin that is, from the sticks, and it makes it official. And that's why everybody wants a Coinbase listing. So the tokenomics, according to Base, is 85% went into the community, 10% to the treasury, 5% in central exchange wallets. So most of it is in circulation, most of it is in the community, and that's very positive. So on the tokenomic front, check. Let's go ahead and check out the Twitter for Brett. And I just like to go to the Twitter and see if they have any upcoming projects. When it comes to meme coins, it doesn't really need projects. Sometimes there are games. There are, like on Telegram, you can tip people in Brett. If you're in like a chat group and you want to recognize somebody said something funny or whatever the context may be. For Brett, there really wasn't a lot of things like games. There was this one thing I saw. It's reactive, so it's like a competition for people to trade on Brett, and I did find this in the Twitter. You can connect a wallet and trade, and then there's like trading volumes, and the first 20 players get a prize, and it's ongoing until January 22nd. So you guys can, there's still time for you to jump in on that if you're interested. There does seem to be a lot of like New Year's. There's like a New Year's party for Brett. I think it was in Brazil or something like that. And yeah, see, so Brett is being marketed. It's very important for meme coins. So one thing to understand about Brett, it's the #1 meme coin for an entire chain, for Base, right? Base is a layer 2. And I talk about this in my course. Is your meme coin the epitome of the chain that it's on? Usually it's a layer 1, but Base is a massive Coinbase connection, and Base is a layer 2. But still, same principle. It will do what Base will do, right? And I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. This is the contract on Base Scan, and if you want to take a look at that. Okay, so just a little quick overview about what Brett is. Brett is a meme coin, right? Meme coins have massive appeal to general audiences. Like, you can get into AI and you can get into like Marlin protocol and Near protocol, and you can talk about execution environments, and it gets really technical really fast. The appeal of meme coins is it's a simplicity. Everybody knows what a meme coin is, right? It's just like a smiley face. It's something funny. And because everyone understands it, the adoption for meme coins is really, really high, and they can just have giant valuations because people are comfortable investing in it. They know what it is and they'll buy it, right? So Brett token was developed by an anonymous group of developers. I tried looking that up and their names are not available. The creators were inspired by the success of other meme coins and aimed to create a token that combined the fun of internet memes with a decentralized financial ecosystem. The team behind the token remains anonymous, which is typical for memes. Now, Brett token is built on Ethereum blockchain utilizing ERC20 token standard. This choice of blockchain allows for compatibility with various decentralized applications and decentralized DeFi platforms. The Brett token does not rely on any traditional mining mechanisms like proof of work. Instead, it was pre-mined and distributed through a fair launch mechanism. So that's great. Fair launch is great. Where tokens were made available to early supporters and investors. The tokens also supports staking, allowing users to earn rewards by locking their token in the network for a certain period of time. The staking mechanism is designed to incentivize long-term holding and reduce market volatility. So it's an ERC20 token, which makes sense because Base is a layer 2. So we see that under the markets in CoinMarketCap, the number one place for that is Uniswap. It's also on, so Uniswap is a DEX, right? And when I buy Brett, I get on Coinbase and I have a trust wallet. And then in my trust wallet, I click the swap button and I trade, was it USDC or Brett? And you need a little bit of ETH to do it. So Uniswap is the place for it. Bybit. It's on everywhere except the big ones like Binance US and Coinbase. And it has strong base connections. So it's just like, the rumor is that that's on purpose, and once they list it on Coinbase, it'll be at an appropriate time that will make the Brett valuation really take off. And that's what the rumor is around Brett. It's like every other token has had major listings, like Popcat has had major listings, Pepe is listed at freaking everywhere. And like I talk about in my course, after a certain point, it can't really operate in a DEX anymore because the slippage, the fee you pay when you swap becomes so large that the only way to really transact at really big volumes is for it to be listed. And it is listed on KuCoin and things like that, but it doesn't have the big listings yet, which is something, to look forward to, in my opinion. It gives it a lot of future potential. And where it's at, 1.61 billion. I mean, that's nuts. And it doesn't have a Coinbase listing. That is just bananas. So, one quick thing. If you've never been on Lunar Crush is for engagement. And it measures like social media presence and stuff like that. So, mentions, engagement, and then price. So, obviously, as the price is in green. The highest price, all right, let's see, earlier on June 30th, it had really high mentions, right, at the same time. And it had strong engagement, at least in the days right before. And now we see that the price is, when it was at its highest peak, was at 0.22 cents. And the mentions had been falling at that point. And so had the engagements. So whenever the engagements and the mentions really start to take off, the price should go much higher than it is. And we're going to get into how much higher I think it could go from what it is. But you have to understand a couple of things about meme coins to really get that. So that's Bitcoin dominance. One quick thing I wanted to point out. Brett and Pepe which is Pepe is massive, but Brett and Pepe and everything, they come from this children's book called Boys Club by Matt Fury. So he was and I'm gonna buy this book and I'm gonna make little episodes about it. Is a cartoonist, Matt Fury. Deadpan Comics showcase slacker roommates Andy, Brett, Landwolf, and Pepe in a series of comedical vignettes combining laconic psychedelia, childlike entertainment, drug-fueled hedonism, and impish mischief. That sounds funny. This is a children's book, so I'm sure it's like you don't really know what's going on. Like they'll be very subtle, like kind of like Alice in Wonderland, and that like that snail that would smoke and his eyes were red. And it's a children's fairy tale, but an adult looks at that and he's like, "Oh, he's on drugs," you know. I get the feeling that's the kind of humor that is. So here's the base ecosystem, and this is one thing that I want to talk about. Base is the underlying chain, and if you look at the cumulative transactions, the transactions on Base have been exploding, and even this year, 2025, in January 10th of 2025, this is the latest information. And what I would like to point out is that the entire transactions are up on Base. More people are using it. Aerodrome is a DEX on Base. So whatever Base does, Aerodrome will do like a multiple of that, right? So if Base does like a 2x, if it goes from 3.5 billion to 7 billion, if it doubles in price, Aerodrome could do like a 4x easily, because Aerodrome, its price is like 1-to-1 with Base, but because it's a DEX, it'll reap benefits from the Base ecosystem, so it'll do a multiple, right? This is true of Solana and Radium. If you were to overlay the price of Solana and Radium does multiples of what Solana does. Now, meme coins that are, representative of the entirety of their underlying chain, they do the highest multiple of all. So if Aerodrome does a 2x from Base's 2x, that means Base does a 2x. Aerodrome does a 4x. That means that Brett could easily do an 8x. Not even with a Coinbase listing. With a Coinbase listing, it could go higher. It could go 10x, 20x, 30x. Beyond that, there are more reasons for the price to go up, but I wanted just to put that in your head, that when a meme coin is the accumulation of its underlying chain, it does huge multiples on the chain. So if Base does $7 billion, if it does a 2x times 5, Brett can do a 5x off of 2x is 10x, right? So I just want to put that in your head. So now let's look at the charts of Brett. This is Brett divided by wrapped ETH. So this is when you swap it. And these are the valuations. So from February 24th to April 8th, 2024, it did 34,000%. It was bananas what it did, right? Pretty much only the development team gets in. Some people get in on that early. If you're one of those crypto investor guys, they're out there. They get in early. Then from May 24th, 2024 to June 24th, so in a month, May, June, in a month's time, it then did a 5x. Right? Then it chopped around, it chopped lower. And then roughly from November 24th to December, it did a 2x. So it's not increasing. It's not going to do another 34x again. But what can happen in the future that can catapult Brett even higher? This is on the daily time frame, right? So this bull cycle, as I talk about in my course, link in the description, it's free right now. You guys should really take my course and leave me a review. And if you agree with the things that I've been saying so far, make sure to leave me a comment and subscribe to my channel so you guys can get my next videos. But as I talk about in the course, this cycle has been dubbed the meme coin super cycle because in terms of narrative, a research paper came out by CoinGecko. It was the Q4, Q3 research, and in that report was the biggest narratives. And the biggest narratives as a category, 33% of them were meme coin narratives. So it was just meme coins in general. It was Solana memes. It was cat-based memes. It was AI agent memes. And I have a video on AI agents that you guys can watch. It's super cool on virtuals. They have a token called the GOAT token. But they have a ton of tokens. But 33% is the narrative. That hasn't happened in previous cycles the way it's happening right now. Previous cycles, it was maybe about the layer ones and things of that nature. But this cycle is the meme coin super cycle. So I've decided to allocate. It's not financial advice, right? You guys got to make your own choices. But I decided to allocate a much bigger portion of my portfolio into meme coins based on the fact that the narratives are just so concentrated in that. So and I have the top narratives video that I made that you guys can watch, but the top narratives were meme coins, AI, RWA, Solana ecosystem, and there was like one more. But essentially 33% of what people are talking about, of the virality of what's hot, is memes. So you gotta invest in memes, in my opinion. Again, you gotta make your own decisions on this, but you gotta find the best memes possible and invest in them. And the reason you should do that is, like, I think that my eyes were kind of closed off to this fact, is that I would always go for layer ones. I would go for more mainstream coins, and I didn't dabble too much in memes because I thought memes were just so dumb. Memes were so dumb. It hurts my intelligence. I have like an IT background, and I like getting into the technical stuff. Like, I'm not afraid to look at code and see if it makes sense to me. I'm not like a coder, but I'm not afraid to look at it. I've looked at stuff before, and I like sounding intellectual and this and that and the other. But what I've realized, what I've really just taken to heart, is the fact that cryptocurrency is a gigantic speculation. It just is. And because it's a speculation, the new tokens give priority. Even if something has better technology, it'll have a boost because it has better technology. But this is a speculation. And the narrative is a massive reason to be in a particular category of crypto. So if you accept that the entirety of crypto is a speculation, then you got to buy memes. And it explains why Dogecoin can be so big. It has a huge backer like Elon Musk, but it's a meme. It doesn't do the development that Solana is doing, that Ethereum is doing. And it's a top 20 coin. It's a top 10 coin, So if you accept that crypto is a speculation, then you won't shy away from memes, and you won't have intellectual bias not to have it, which was my problem for a long time. So Brett token is a good entry point right now, as if you look at Brett, let's see, it's got many points of support, and also here. So this is like a buy zone. Essentially, the lower end of the buy zone is 0.08, and every 0.01 of this is about 8%. So if it goes from like 0.11 to 0.112, that's about 8%. So if it drops to 0.08 from where it is right now, let's just round up to 0.112. So 0.11, 0.10, 0.9, 0.8. 8 times 4 is 32%. So it could drop 32% from where it is right now at the lower bound. And it'll hit a lot of support at that point. But it's just been, in my view, it's just been chopping sideways. You know, the whole month of December. And really, it's been chopping sideways since June. Really, since June. And you could even go even further, since May of 2024. Even on the lower end. But when it first got to where it is at the lower end of the support, it's since May of 2024, which is coming up on a year. It's really just been a lot of sideways chop, and it hasn't done a lot more than that. So in my view, Brett is a buy right now because of where it is. It's in the buy zone. And when you come into a position, you come into it and you're like, okay, how much could I possibly drop from this point forward, right? That's the question you ask. You could possibly have a 32% drop in my view, but there's massive support. The lower end is 0.08, but there's support here as well. There's a lot of support for the Brett token not to drop dramatically. Like from where it was at like 0.22, it's dropped like 45% already. If you got into it now, it's dropped 45% from its high point in December 7th, 2024, like a little bit over a month ago. And so it's already dropped a lot, you know. So could it continue to drop? Yes, it could continue to drop 32% more. But it's not going to drop, you know, another 70%. That's very unlikely, in my opinion. If it dropped even more on the lower end, let's hit it from there to there, it would be an 85% drop. It's not going to drop that much more, really. And I don't know how likely I think that bottom is. But there's so much upside for the reasons that I've outlined. So a 10x from where it is right now would be like $1.10. And I think that's a very realistic price point because it hasn't had a Coinbase listing, because this is a meme coin super cycle, because Brett is the amalgamation of Base. It'll do multiples on whatever Base does. And Base, as we saw before on DefiLama, let me get that. The transactions on Base are surging. And we're at a bit of a low point right now in the crypto cycle. The sentiment was neutral. It went from like fear to neutral, so the sentiment went up a bit. Let's see if we can get to TVL. So the TVL was the highest in December at 4 billion. And it dropped about $500 million to where we are right now. But the transactions are there. The addresses are there. See, look at the addresses. Like, a way to calculate this, again, this is in my course. It's a free course. Sign up to the course. Is that Coinbase wants to onboard like 1 billion new users, 1 billion new wallets. You take a conservative estimate of those people, like 20%. If each of those people, you know, 20% of 1 billion, right, is like 200 million. You take a conservative number like $10, $100. All of that going into Base would be massive. It would easily double. So all the projections that I made in the course and the ones that I'm talking about right now I think they're conservative. I think it could do more than 10x at the height of the meme coin super cycle. At the height of the bull cycle, things go so bananas. They go so bonkers. So this is Shiba Inu in March 2024. Shiba went from I can't even see, but it was, man, it was, let's see. Oh, that's so many zeros. Well, let's go back in time. So October 2021, October 2021 was the second peak. So like if we were to add BTC, for example, right, this is November. So the first peak was in October and then in November. But it exploded in like on the day that it reaches its biggest height. In one day it 2x's. Right. From September 21 to, see, it did it like 1,000 as a 10x, 1,000% as a 10x. It did that in like 2 months. So this is how bananas Shiba Inu went, right? And Coinbase and the base ecosystem, in my opinion, is far stronger than Shiba Inu is, because Shiba Inu is just like it's its own network now, but back then it was just a meme coin, and they've developed themselves more. But if this is what Shiba Inu can do, imagine what Brett can do. Brett has the right pedigree. It comes from the same place as Pepe. And what it has that what Shiba Inu doesn't have is that it'll do whatever the base ecosystem does. However people get onboarded there, Brett will reap the benefit of that. It's the #1 meme coin on base. And we can see that there really aren't any meme coins on here. Look, there's all these projects with total value locked. It's just so well positioned for so many reasons to do well. And one more thing that I wanted to show you guys. This is other. If you've never looked at it, this is the entirety of the altcoin market cap. So it excludes the top 10 coins. And back in, again, so March 2024, April 2024. All right, here we go. November. Remember how we were looking at November was the big day for Shiba Inu? So, but really there was a double top last bull cycle in May, and then like China banned all the miners to leave China. They couldn't mine Bitcoin, and then it dropped. And then November 21st was the official top of BTC. It went from like 35,000 in May to like 65,000 in November 21st, November 2021. I remember I was there. I was looking at the markets that day. It was crazy. But you could have sold here and been good. But what we saw is this hasn't happened yet in this bull cycle. I have not seen anything to lead me to believe that we're peaked already. A lot of people make arguments with things like the bond market mayhem. But another reason that the crypto in general will do well is because of the new incoming Republican candidacy that has made promises that is crypto friendly to Bitcoin, and if they're friendly to Bitcoin, it'll do well for everybody else, for all the other cryptos. But you can have just massive days. So from July to November. So July, October, November. In like 3 months, the entire altcoin sector did a 227%, right? It more than doubled. And meme coins, because of what they are, they have the biggest like upward trajectories. The only ones that'll do better are going to be like, you know, the meta coins of like 2021, like Decentraland and Sandbox. Those were the best performing, among the best performing. And I think that because of the narrative, that the meme coins will be that. So it's kind of baked into the cake from the perspective of narrative and what that does for people when they choose to invest. When retail comes in at these late stages is when retail comes in, when they FOMO in. You should already be positioned. Now I've been buying Brett in the last couple of days. I'm almost at my target. I want to have like a couple thousand in Brett because I already have a portfolio with other ones. But if you can get to this point in the cycle and sell and just be out, like I talk about in my course, it's a free course. Take the course. If you want to do meme coin investing, then you'll make a lot of money. I think an 8 to 10x is very doable, very conservative. It could do a lot more than that. And we're talking about in the next year. But if we're talking about in the next bull cycle, like 5 years from now, Shiba Inu has been there for more than one bull cycle. Right? This is the last October 21st of the last bull cycle. And they're probably gonna, you know, outdo themselves. Yeah, they're nowhere near their all-time high. Like Shiba Inu, from where it is now, it's 258% from its all-time high, 2.5. I think Shiba Inu easily gets to the all-time high or breaks it. I think it'll break it. But that's going to happen to Brett. You know, Brett doesn't have a previous cycle. Like, it's only existed in the last, like, less than 2 years. Less than a year. Really. Maybe when it first came out was, like, almost a year. So, it's a new coin. The market likes new coins. We're going to have fundamental legislative changes, most likely, in the Trump administration. It's the amalgamation of a layer 1. It'll do whatever it's a layer 2. It'll do whatever the chain it's on will do. It'll do a multiple, like the highest multiple of any project. A lot of people think of meme coins as a leveraged bet on the underlying chain that they're on, similar to the DEX. Like I have Radium because I wanted Solana exposure, and I have Radium. And my Radium has already outperformed Solana. My Radium has like 2.5x, 3x, 3-something x in the last like couple of months. And Solana would have to go to like $300 or $400 for that. But Radium already did it. So you get what I'm saying? The meme coin that captures all of that money is going to be Brett for the base chain, and it'll do whatever. Bases in America, Coinbase is the most trusted exchange. I'm here in America, and I can tell you that for a fact. People trust Coinbase more than anybody else. So, in terms of aping into something and there being trust, definitely Coinbase is the chain for that, and Base will reap the reward. And Brett will reap the reward, and you will reap the reward. You'll make the money. There's things that could, put rain on the parade. The bond market could collapse. World War III could break out. Pandemic 2.0 could happen. But we can't control that. Those are black swan events. And you can't really, plan for a black swan event. So I think that Brett is going to 8 to 10x. And if you invest in it today, it's not a bad time to invest in today. Not financial advice, of course. But there's just so many reasons to have meme coins this cycle in particular, beyond what's happened in other cycles. and you guys should reap the reward of that. So if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment if you agree or not, and subscribe to my course. It's free for the next 100 people, and you'll get a lot of value out of that. Thank you so much. Have a good night.